Chapter 32. Disaster.
Counting the time, Zack anticipated his reunion with Venru. Nothing else mattered. Concern abided with Zentran as well. They came out of Lightspeed precariously close to Trenor. Zentran prepared to put the cruiser down close to Venru's family home. Before touching down, far-reaching dust clouds and billowing smoke drifted below them. Zack went cold. The source of airborne debris came directly from the vicinity of Venru's home. On the ground, it wasn't a pretty sight. The granite home they'd admired stood smouldering. Zack rushed into the ruins in disbelief. There was no evidence of Venru, Nebulon, or any of her foster family. His shoulders sagged as initial anger turned to grief. Zentran laid a hand on his friend's shoulder. It was apparent to both of them what had befallen this otherwise peaceful environment. Onlookers at the outskirts of the disaster area cautiously came forward. Zentran saw in their eyes the look of his own people, the expressionless result of deprogrammed mind control. A portable unit must have been used. The agents had been methodical. A Trenorian's eyes flickered, recognizing Zentran.
What happened here?
Zentran asked. The answer was a long time coming.
Space bandits,
He ventured eventually.
the family and many others died in the fight. More injured.
What of Venru and Nebulon?
Zack had difficulty speaking.
They were taken.
Were they alive?
Yes,
Zack's anger grew as he'd never known. The strong, proud race would have put up a hell of a fight. Had it been on their terms, the outcome would certainly have been different. Defeat at the hands of space bandits was not taken lightly. It was obvious, though, that the perpetrators here had been no space bandits, but meticulously coordinated council lookalikes, disguised as such. Even in this disastrous situation that touched them so closely, Zentran still had trouble considering lookalikes enemies. With the unpredictability of life, it could so easily have been him or Zack held prisoner in a synthetic body and programmed to implement the attack. They were fallen allies, and Zentran needed to take responsibility for them. He was equal to that. Zack did not share his view. He wanted none of it, and understandably so. Any look-alike in his vicinity now would be measurable only in microseconds taken to vaporize. Grief gripped him again. Tears welled in his eyes. He'd never experienced a loss of this magnitude and was having difficulty retaining his composure. Zack started to walk back to the spacecraft. Grief once again gave way to anger. His eyes were cold with a look that could outmatch a blaster set to maximum. He'd make them pay for this, and pay dearly. Zentran followed him and glanced back at the broken Trenorian onlookers as he closed the hatch of the space cruiser. Besides subterfuge, the attackers had used surprise, force of arms, and deprogramming to ensure their success. The Council's reputation had not been tarnished. Checking that Zack was reasonably okay, he lifted the craft off the ground, through the atmosphere, and into space. He set the propulsion unit to light-speed overdrive, without concern for council regulations. It was now a time of reckoning. Zack moved out of his body and located Delta 2 with some difficulty. He hadn't mastered this ability over such a distance. He checked out the Tocton restaurant and the Ockerton's bar. Lookalikes were present at both. Flash still managed the restaurant, unaware of their presence. There was no trace of Venru or Nebulon. The lack of control, being so far from his body, caused uneasiness, compounded by his anger. He'd continue the search when they arrived on Delta 4B. Lying in his sleep module, Zentren had also moved out of his body. He'd gained better control and wasn't as angry as Zack. He found nothing untoward on Delta 4B. Fora was at work behind her communications panel. The relief in finding her there was immense. It seemed out of place with the tragedy that had befallen Venru and her family. Not wanting to put Fora at risk, he didn't make contact, although it was all he could do not to. He wished that the memory crystal was connected to her communication lines, so he could analyze the data. That was vitally needed now.